Okay, good afternoon. I'm really happy to be joined by our recipients of the Governor's Educator of the Year awards from Angelo Tomaso School, ALT as we call it. So congratulations, Mrs. Fidash and Mrs. Livingston, on your well-deserved accolades. Congratulations. Clearly that's a reflection of your colleagues and your students feeling that your contributions to their lives are really meaningful. So with that in mind, Mrs. Livingston, could you start us off of a little bit about yourself and your history here in the Warren Township School District?
So this is my 21st year as a teacher in Warren Township. And when I first started, I taught right here at ALT. So I've spent all those years here at ALT. But my history with Warren Township Schools goes way back when I was a student at Mount Horeb and then transferred to Central. So I've been a part of the Warren Township school community for a very long time.
Excellent. Thank you. And Mrs. Fidash, how about you?
I started back in 2012, filling in as the occupational therapist. Mm-hmm. So, and then moved into my current position.
And tell us about your current position. Actually, maybe both of you just tell us about your current position.
I'm a paraprofessional in the classrooms with the students, and I work in all the different grades depending on where I'm needed. So it's been good.
So this year, I am the first and second grade resource room teacher here at ALT.
Okay. And staying with you, Mrs. Livingston, what made you go into education in the first place?
So at first, I actually wasn't going to be a teacher. I wanted to be a child psychologist. However, the moment that I walked into a classroom, it was kind of my backup to be a teacher. I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with working with students. And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, I could make a career out of this. So it came very naturally. And there was no looking back. I just love being in the classroom.
Excellent. And Mrs. Fidash, you also mentioned having been an occupational therapist. So you've got a couple of different roles.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, I've been an occupational therapist for a while. I love being creative. I really had a dream of being an art teacher, but my mom ended up getting sick. So my sister and I took care of her, and I learned how to be creative in a different way and loved it. So I took the path of working as an occupational therapist, but loved working with children and loved being in the classrooms and loved supporting the students. And I've kind of transitioned into that as a para, really helping them, but with different eyes. And it's been kind of exciting. So.
And working with students with special needs, which both of you do, but in different roles, is challenging at any time, especially so during those months when we were full remote learning in the spring of 2020, continues to be a challenge now, even as we're in school full time, but dealing with all the different challenges. So Ms. Fidash, first what's an area of success you've experienced with your students over the last couple of years that makes you really proud?
It's all the little problem-solving components, realizing that a student might need something a little different in a classroom and figuring out what that is and seeing them flourish. And it's just the simplest thing is it could be a blue pen. I had a student that was struggling, and I was, watched and observed, and I'm like, I think they need contrast. And it went from struggling to just being able to participate and not feel lost in the classroom. And it's just the vision observing as an OT, but, supporting the academics in that situation. It's exciting to see when your ideas or your observations of things work. They can't always tell us what's going on, and, we kind of help them figure it out.
Great. And Mrs. Livingston, how about you? Something that makes you really proud about the last couple of years?
I am just so proud of what we were able to accomplish last year. Last year, I taught three grades, first, second, and third, and I was very lucky to have three amazing paras. And half our students were virtual, half our students were in person, and we just worked so well together. What I was really proud of my students was they just rose to the occasion. They learned how to use Google Classroom. They learned how to use Google Meet. They knew what links to click on. As just our little community, because I was considered a homeroom teacher last year, we created morning meetings where everybody was engaged, whatever grade level, they interacted with each other. And then we also incorporated an afternoon meet where we got back together as a little community and were able to just share what our day was like and how things went. And they just were very supported. And I think that they felt comfortable enough to still take risks. And I was just so proud that they thrived even in such a difficult, situation with things going on in their own little worlds and their families. And, I was just so, thankful for the powers that I had. I really could not have done it without them. And so that just makes me so proud that we were able to accomplish what we did with the restraints and the things that were kind of against us.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of words that we try not to use anymore, like flexibility and pivoting and, all of this. But basically what you both just described was really getting a sense of what your students needed and then figuring out creative ways to get them what they needed, regardless of what decisions they or their families made or what circumstances they were dealing with. So kudos to both of you for that, for sure. What about, Mrs. Livingston, something that you think the general public should know about schools and about education that maybe they're not aware of right now?
Well, this was I was thinking about how the community views us, and I just hope that they know how passionate teachers are, that we come here every single day loving what we do, and that the students' interests are what we hold at the forefront. And especially as a special ed teacher, I try very hard to meet the needs of each individual student, and try to meet the families where they are so that I can help the students. So, I just hope that the community, really just has a positive outlook towards teachers, because we're really here as part of the community to help the children in Warren.
Well said. Ms. Firash?
I feel the same way. What I would want people to realize is that we are also a family, and we want the students to feel comfortable and cared for. We're with them a long part of their day, and we truly are a family. And students, they do feel comfortable. Like, some will accidentally call you mom. Yeah. That truly is amazing, that, we get to be part of so much of their day and help them feel that they're part of this family and learn and share. So I would want people to know that we are a family. So.
Well, and to that point, I think the final question really kind of drives home on that. When your students think back to this time in the future, what are you hoping they'll remember about you and your work together, Ms. Firash?
I would like to say they would remember you as the teacher that gave them their own little bag of tricks, little things that they learned that they can take and figure out how to make things work for them wherever they go. So.
Ms. Livingston?
I was thinking we've just lived through still currently living through a very unique time in history. And we redefined how we can provide education to students. And I just hope that my students take from this that anything is possible. They can rise to any occasion with support and love and care that, that they're given and they have. So I'm hoping that they remember this is a positive experience, that they really, learned so much and in different ways.
I agree.
Very nice. And I think that's good full circle. So the reason you were nominated by your students and your colleagues is because you provide that environment for your students, a safe place where they know that they're supported. And I'm sure that they will reflect back on their time with you and their time at ALT very fondly because of you and quite frankly, the whole staff, right? So I know that one of the challenges when we give out these awards is people feel like I'm one of many people. You both deserve this recognition. And we know that all of our kids have really great experiences because of our staff at ALT and throughout the district. So congratulations to both of you on this well-deserved accolade. And thank you for taking a little bit of time to share your thoughts. Does anybody want to add anything, any last minute closing quotes or anything?
I always say keep moving forward.
Very
Thank
nice.
you. Thank you.
Congratulations to both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.